the vast majority of the time, having a natural, unmedicated birth is the healthiest, lowest risk option for mom and baby. But we are also lucky to live in a time where if interventions are necessary, that they're available and can be life-saving. So really just helping students know the right questions to ask to know whether interventions are necessary or not. Because you can have two doctors who approach the exact same situation in two very different ways.
Right, yeah.
And it's important for parents to be able to feel empowered and involved in the decision-making process.
Michigan Family Wellness, Episode 11.
Here at Michigan Family Wellness, we believe chiropractic care and nutritional-based therapies are a foundational part of a healthy family lifestyle. No matter where you're at in the mitten, having a family is such an exciting time of life. So instead of feeling overwhelmed by stress, fatigue, and responsibilities with the kids, we invite you to become part of this empowering community to create happy, healthy families. By providing engaging interviews and practical applications, Dr. Wallner cultivates family health by equipping our listeners with the tools they need to elevate wellness in their own family. Dr. Wallner passionately serves the Michigan community at his chiropractic and nutrition-based practice, where he specializes in pregnancy, pediatrics, and family wellness care. And now, here's your host, Dr. Kyle Wallner.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Michigan Family Wellness. I am your host, Dr. Kyle Wallner, and I just want to echo everything that Sharon was talking about in that introduction. Empowering parents, empowering women to have those options for their birth directive, those natural birth techniques. So again, without getting too much into our episode content for today, I just wanted to, again, echo those sentiments of you do have options. There are alternatives out there. And one of the best ways to learn more about those alternatives is by attending the live events at Canton's Summit on the Park. Coming up on July 16th, we have Chiropractic Care for Pregnancy and Pediatrics, the Female Hormone Symphony on August 6th, and Natural Birth Techniques on August 20th. So this is a great precursor. This podcast episode with my good friend Sharon Quinn, this is a great precursor to all of those upcoming events. So please share this episode with your family, share this episode with your friends, anyone who might be interested in preconception health, fertility, natural birth techniques. Like we said there, all of those things. So before we dive into the episode here, let's tell you a little bit about Sharon. Sharon grew up in Marietta, Pennsylvania, and is the youngest of 6 children. She moved to Utah to attend Brigham Young University and graduated in psychology and sociocultural anthropology. With a passion for international development and activism, she's enjoyed working for NGOs, that's non-governmental organizations, in Seattle and Mozambique. In more recent years, she's refocused on development within the United States and taught in inner-city schools in Pittsburgh and D.C. After moving 12 times in the first 6 years of marriage, Sharon and her husband Anthony are happy to be settled down in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where they've been teaching the Bradley Method birth classes since 2013. As a full-time mom of 3, Sharon enjoys spending time with her family, volunteering for her church and a preschool board, and also loves travel, art, politics, and the great outdoors. And remember, everyone, there will be a dedicated webpage for this episode at MichiganFamilyWellness.com. And if you're part of the 60% of our listeners who listen on their mobile device, whether that be your iPhone or Android, you can tap the album art for the podcast here, and the show notes will expand before you, containing all of the clickable links and resources for you. All right, without any further delay, let's hear from Sharon. All right, Sharon, welcome to the podcast.
Happy to be here.
Our listeners, the Michigan Family Wellness community, is really going to walk away with some value today from yourself. So before we get into a lot of that discussion and that content, I just told our listeners a little bit about you as the professional. Can you tell us more about Sharon as the person and why you're so passionate about serving families?
Sure. So I grew up in Pennsylvania, in kind of farmland Amish country, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And then I moved out west to Utah to go to school. I double majored in psychology and sociocultural anthropology, and kind of grew my passion for human rights and international development, which seems probably on the surface kind of unrelated to natural childbirth, but I think it's all kind of tied together. And from there, I moved around a lot and found different ways to serve. I lived in California for a couple years serving a mission for my church, and after getting married, moved to Mozambique and worked with an NGO with my husband, and volunteered in different capacities. And after I got married to my husband, I helped him go through grad school, and I was planning on going to grad school, got accepted to a program overseas, but it didn't work out really with my husband finding a job in the country that we were going to.
Gotcha.
So and it just happened to correlate with my first pregnancy.
There you go. Yeah.
And so when we had our first child, and it was a really, really good experience, I was like, well, that's what I'll do. I'll become a birth instructor. It just kind of